Hey there, boys and girls. Lady Silver Vixen here. The first thing I'm going to show you today is how to program and charge crystals. What you see before you is actually a crystal vortex. In the middle of this crystal vortex is a quartz crystal. Well, actually, it's a rose quartz crystal. Excuse me. It's surrounded by quartz crystals. Um, the first two methods I'm going to show you with this are, in a sense, non-witchy. In the sense that you don't have to be a witch in order to use these methods. This is purely working with crystals and your own personal energy. So whether you're a witch, you're a Christian, you're Muslim, if you decide that you want to work with crystals and you want to put your own energy into them, these actually turn around and make great gifts. I also do this with jewelry, so it's wonderful. I actually have a blessing on my birthday present. So the first method I'm going to show you guys how to do is with your own personal energy and through the use of your own hands. The other two methods I'm going to show you is through the crystal vortex and through the use of a wand. Okay, so make sure that you have a specific goal in mind. I'm going to do mine on letting go of the past and letting go of stress. So what we're going to do is we're going to visualize from the heart chakra. We're going to go up and down through the shoulder on both hands into the palms, because as we're doing this, our hands are going to be cupped in a sphere. What we want is to create that constant sphere of positive energy around the crystal. Visualize exactly what you want in mind and push that energy up and out and down through the palms so that way you can push it into the crystal. You can use your own personal instinct as to when it's as charged as it's going to be. If you have multiple goals in mind, don't charge it too much. Whatever goal it is that you have that's of specific emphasis, that's the one that you want to charge to the most. Goddess bless. The other thing you can do is say little prayers. You can also do it through the use of spells. Personally, I'm not a big spell person, but you can modify all these different things to your own liking. Now, what I'm going to show you when it comes to the vortex is more of an advanced style of programming and charging. Not only does this work great for charging objects, but it's great for programming as well. As you're charging the crystals that surround the middle object, I'm saying object because this can be a candle, it can be your wand, it can be anything. You're going to visualize exactly what it is that you want, and you're going to place it into these crystals. You can either lay your hand above it, as you can see here, my hand is not actually touching. You can hover it. You can put it over the dead center, or you can have your hand resting nearby. Personally, I prefer to have my hand hover, so that way I can actually visualize each specific crystal in and of itself, push the energy through, and make it rotate around in a circle. Okay, that's what a vortex is. It is a never-ending rotation. All my points here, because these are crystal quartz points, for those of you who don't know, there is a point at the top. These points are all facing in. The reason why these quartz points are facing in is because I am pushing energy into the middle object. If I wanted to remove energy from it, all my crystal quartz points would point outwards. I would push energy down, and I would actually be cleansing it. So, just a little fun fact for later. Alright? So, I'm going to visualize the healing of cords and doing away with existing cords that can't be fixed because they're broken or they can't be healed. So I'm going to visualize energy from the heart pushing down and through my arm, out through my palm, and into the one or two of the crystals that are surrounding. And then from here, I'm visualizing the energy moving through the crystals in a circle. As they're moving through the circle, the energy is going out through the points and into the middle object, which just so happens to be the rose quartz. Alright, I feel that that's enough for that. Just so that way I'll quit smacking my quartz points. Let me get these out of the way. Now that method's not very witchy. I know it seems kind of bland, but vortexes can actually be used for a multitude of different magical workings. As I mentioned, a few cleansing as well as programming and charging. If you want a simple neutral charge from crystal energy, you don't actually have to face the crystal points in towards the object. You can just focus them in the exact direction that you want the energy to go in. If you want positive energy and healing energy, it'll go in a clockwise motion. If you want a stone that's specifically used for banishing or protection, make it go in a counterclockwise motion. And as I said, specifically for programming, they'll focus inwards. For cleansing and removal of energy, they'll focus out. The last method I'm going to show you is a very witchy method. The reason why it is a very witchy method is because I'm going to use my wand. This wand in particular is actually a little long for most people. I find it the perfect length, but if you're interested, proper wand length is from the wrist to the inner part of the elbow, and as you can see, mine goes way out past my fingertips. Or standard is about 13 to 14 inches, usually no longer than 13 inches. My wand just so happens to be about 14 or 15 inches long, but I also have a crystal mounted on mine. One of the other things, too, that I wanted to point out real quick is that when you're doing something like this with the wand, try not to smack things with it, because your wand, depending on what it's made of, can either be very delicate or it can be very hard. If it's extremely hard and you're doing this to something delicate, if you smack it, you can break it. If the object, this is same thing, vice versa. If the object is delicate and the wand is hard, you can break the delicate object, or if it's the other way around, where the object is hard and the wand is delicate, you can break your wand. So be very careful when you're working with this. This is where a lot of people will actually use different chants or spells. I personally am not a big spell person, so I just visualize exactly what I want, no different than what I showed you guys in the first two methods. Instead of it going through my hands, though, this time it's going to go through my wand. All you're going to do is visualize the same way as you did before, and you're going to hover the tip of the wand over top, or you can actually, some people like to point it directly at the object, but for what my method is, you actually don't really need to point it directly at the object so long as you know that that energy is going to that stone. Alright? For the sake of not confusing people, we're going to point it at the stone. You're actually going to circle the stone, trying to keep your point focused at the crystal itself. Or the way that I do it is just slightly above, and you just rotate around. Because what you're doing is you're creating a circle around the stone, and you're imbuing that energy into the stone. You're going to do it 3 times. That's all it needs. 3 rotations. 1, 2, 3. Done. Okay. And it's really that simple. The other thing I wanted to point out to you people that watch my videos is that magic cannot change your physical form into anything other than what you are. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately, and this is where I'm going to go into my rant. I'm sorry I didn't warn you about this like I usually do, but you're getting ready to hear a rant. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos lately of young witches who have been claiming, I think it's 30 years between the two of them, or 15 years between the two of them. I can't remember exactly what it is. But they're putting spells up on YouTube, and they're getting a lot of views. They're also getting a lot of comments. The spells that these girls are putting up, and I have actually seen several gentlemen put up as well, are vampire spells that'll turn you into a vampire, werewolf spells that'll turn you into a werewolf, mermaid spells, monster spells, just all kinds of randomness. Um, Magic is not designed to change your physical appearance into something that you were not born as. You know, it's one thing if you're going to try and change your eye color. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know, but my eye color is never the same twice, most of the time. Um, my eyes are usually a brown color, yes, but my eyes are actually more of a hazel, to be honest with you. My eye color constantly changes. Um, my eyes can go from being green to brown to black to gold, and they'll just do whatever they want. Now, if I want to use an eye change color spell, what I'm doing is I'm actually on a subconscious level changing my eye color. Um, but my eye color cannot change to a color that it does not change to naturally. If I want my eyes to be purple and I do the eye change color spell, my eyes are not going to be purple. Only way you can do something like that is through contacts, which, trust me, would probably be a lot easier anyway. And probably wouldn't cost as much energy. So, um, magic can't make you super skinny. It can't make you build muscle. It can't make you fat. It can't do anything like that. Um, Magic works within certain confines, certain rules, so to speak. Um, and there are certain limitations to it. You're limited by your own imagination for the most part, but when it comes to doing magic, magic is more of something that you should use to empower yourself and to embrace your life. Um, every day is magical. Every day that you wake up and you're breathing, that in and of itself is magic. It's a gift. It's special. Um, in the sense of casting spells as magic, spells should really be used as kind of like a last resort kind of thing. Or if you're trying to help another person, you should really have good goals or good intentions and very strong intentions behind what you're doing. Um, if not, not only one will the spell not work, but if it does work, it has a very good chance of backfiring or not working the way that you want it to. Um, I've done a lot of videos and have spoken heavily about the concept of spells. And the more I have to fix other people's mistakes, whether they're intentional or innocent, or these people are actually as delusional as I hope they're not, um, into actually believing that by doing a vampire spell that you turn into a vampire. Um, it makes me sad. It also infuriates me because now I'm having to take time out of my busy schedule to correct these people who are obviously wrong and educate people who are obviously not smart enough in all senses to do the proper research, and they're just that naive that they fall for it. It makes me mad and it makes me sad that there's all this information out there and they can't take 5 minutes and go and ask somebody, post a message on my page, hey, look, I saw this video, I'm not quite sure what this is all about, can you please educate me on this? I have no problem taking time out of my day or out of my busy schedule to educate somebody. That's why I come onto YouTube. That's why I make these videos. That's why I taught you guys tonight how to program in charge. I keep getting constant questions concerning the subject. Um, and I love making these videos for everybody. But please, people, please be smart. If something seems too good to be true, usually it is. Um, this is by no means too good to be true. This is very simple. It makes a great gift. Anybody can do it. It takes a little practice to get your energy flow right and to create the sphere of energy, but once you get it, it's a snap. It becomes second nature to you. So please, please use common sense, okay? Use common sense. Don't fall for the watch this hand while the other one slips by you. Don't fall for that. Um, Always trust your instincts. If you have questions, ask. There are many, many well adept and long time practicing um, users of YouTube that are part of the pagan community here. Ask them. All right. Every once in a while, even I have to ask a couple of questions. I can usually find the answers on my own, but you gotta trust your instincts. You gotta go out there and find the information yourself sometimes, um, but never, never hesitate to ask questions. Always question. This is Lady Silver Vixen. I'm signing out for now. May the God and Goddess bless you all.